After a number of years in the bait game, predominantly producing boilies and pellets, the guys at Nash Bait have taken the leap into the particle world, and their new range of particles and nuts is available quite literally off the shelf. And if I reach into my van to this shelf, I will grab an example of one of the products they now produce. So in my hand, I've got the small seed mix, one of a large variety of different options that you have. And as you can see here, the particle is stored in a 2.5 litre jar. There is a smaller version as well. We'll come on to that a little bit later. So you've got 2.5 litres here, sealed properly, not just by the lid, but with an actual seal. And the particle is cooked inside these jars. So the bait goes into the jars with the desired amount of water. It's all sealed, and then it is boiled and in turn cooked. And there is Himalayan rock salt added to it, as you will see here. Now, rock salt acts as a preservative, which basically means that for the duration of its life inside this jar with the seal intact, it will last a very long time. Once you break the seal and expose it to open air, it can then go off. But as long as you don't break the seal, you keep it firmly closed, stored safely, it will last a very long time. It can be frozen. It says here on the front, you can freeze it. So if you want to buy them, chuck them in the freezer, you can do, which means if you open it, you don't use it, you can chuck it in the freezer and prolong its lifetime. So there is a large range of these, which will cater for pretty much whatever you want. And since I was sent these, I've been keeping a few in the top of my van on that shelf I just showed you a minute ago. They're great to have as a spare, or of course you can make them your main supply of particle. It is up to you. It depends how often and how much particle you want to use. And I'm sure there's lots of people watching this that aren't allowed to cook particle at home because their missus doesn't let them. I've been punishing Gemma with that for many, many years, and she's become accustomed to it. I've got a Burko boiler, you know, so because I'm using particle in massive quantities a lot of the time, I'm using these predominantly as spares, which I keep in the van, and they're great to have. And like I said earlier, you know, once you've got them, you store them until you want to use them, which is a nice touch because it is a bit of a mess about preparing particle, and especially if you want to do a variety of different things. So for me, these are a bit of a spare part. You know, they stay in the van till I need them. I use them here and there, but I'm sure for lots of you, these will be a bit of a game changer because it takes away that process, the messy, smelly, horrible process of preparing particle, which is a bit industrial at times. So let's get on to the actual jars themselves, what they contain, how many different options have you got, and I'll just put this back on my shelf first. So that goes up there. And then down here, we have the full range. So first thing to notice is, of course, the two different size jars. It's 2.5 litre and then 500 ml. So whichever one suits you best, there you go, you have the options available. We've got a large seed mix, a small seed mix, which are kind of self-explanatory really. The large seed mix is a mixture of red and yellow maize, maple peas and chickpeas. And then the small seed mix is a mixture of 7 small seeds, such as hemp, tares, dari and millet. And both of those have been infused with the Himalayan rock salt, which adds a little bit of taste, but also helps to preserve them. And it is a natural preservative, which is really important. So that's the large and the small seed mix. You've got a right little mixture going on there. And then we come to the hemp. Now, there's 2 options with the hemp. You've got Scopex squid hemp or the standard oily hemp. And carp just love hemp. So do I. I use it a hell of a lot. And, you know, for me, one of the best carp catching baits there has ever been. But there is 2 options. So you've got the option of using the hemp in pretty much its standard form here on the right hand side, and then to the left you've got the Scopex squid hemp, and this has got fresh Atlantic squid added to it, blended down and then added in with the hemp, which is a pretty cool little addition. Nice bit of thought has gone into that, and the end product is something rather lovely. And to the right here we've got the tiger nuts, and once again you've got 2 options there. So you've got your standard whole tiger nut enhanced with talin, and for those that don't know, talin is a sweetener. It's been catching carp for many, many years, which only enhances the actual tiger nut itself. And then to the right, we have the tiger nut slush. And for those that are wondering, that is essentially a chopped or blended nut. And once again, enhanced with talin, the sweetener. And once again, available in both the big and the small jar options. This stuff is a really nice addition to the range, in my opinion. It gives you the perfect crossover between a particle and a nut. So You get everything that a nut offers, but you get the really fine pieces inherent with a particle type bait. With a nut, you don't get that carpet of feed. It's very hard to achieve that, but once you blend it all down like it has been here, one little handful of that will go a long way. Perfect for clearing spots, perfect for getting carp grubbing and rooting around for ages, searching for every last little morsel of the broken down tigers. So a great addition to the range, something a little bit different and something that I will definitely be using at some point. And then down here we've got a little jar of Himalayan rock salt, and this can be used for a number of things, but one of the great uses for it is if you open this up, pour this into one of these jars, adding salt to a particle will make it PVA friendly. So you can add that to your particle, make sure to add plenty of it, but you can then add things like oily hemp, tiger nuts to PVA bags, which is a nice little option to have. You can of course coat your boilies in the salt, things like that as well, and there is a larger jar option available, but I used all that the other week, so we haven't got it here to show. But whatever you want to use this stuff for, whether it's to completely negate the need to prepare all your particle at home, go through that process, you know, if you want to eradicate that, or you simply want to just have them stashed in the garage or in the van for a rainy day, you know, a great option to Nash's already large and very popular range of bait. And the small jars are going to cost you $3.99, the large ones $11.99. You've got loads of options there. Whatever you want from this range, I'm sure you will find it. And if you've never looked at it before, next time you pop into the tackle shop, I would advise that you check it out. And if you are a Cypography member and you shop with Fish on Tackle, you can save yourself 10% on this lovely little lot as well.